Even for a show known for its surprising twists, these were still pretty unexpected. Hey guys, it's Phoebe. Welcome to Watch Mojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 biggest Game of Thrones twists. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. We'll be looking at 10 of the most surprising plot twists from the entire series run of Game of Thrones. And yes, we will be including stuff that was hinted at along the way. Spoilers ahead. Number 10. Peter betrays Ned. Peter's betrayal of Ned is one of the show's most important moments, not just in terms of plot, but in terms of tone. Until this, we believed that Ned would successfully dethrone Joffrey.
King Joffrey and the Queen Regent request your presence in the throne room.
King Joffrey?
King Robert is gone. The gods give him rest.
And everything pointed to that outcome. A dramatic standoff, the presence of the City Watch, and Robert's sealed letter. But then everything goes to hell, and Peter holds a knife to Ned's throat.
I did warn you not to trust me.
It was a shocking twist, but it was a twist with realistic progression. Peter even mentions his prior warning.
Lord Baelish, perhaps I was wrong to distrust you.
Distrusting me was the wisest thing you've done since you climbed off your horse.
We should have seen it coming, but we didn't expect it because we all thought the good guy would win. This scene proved that honor doesn't matter, and it trained us on how to approach Game of Thrones. Number 9, But I Do Know. Joffrey's death is rich with dramatic material and unbelievable twists. First, it was the death itself that literally came out of nowhere. One moment Joffrey was drinking at his wedding, and the next he was dead in his mother's arms. Blame was immediately placed on Tyrion, but the mystery didn't last long. 2 episodes later, Olenna dropped a bombshell by revealing to Marjorie that Tyrion was innocent.
You don't think I'd let you marry that beast, do you?
I don't understand. Who?
Don't you worry yourself about all that.
And that it was she who poisoned Joffrey. And if things were still a little muddy, Olenna straight up tells Jaime in season 7 and goes out like a boss. Joffrey's death was one of the most shocking moments on the show, and to see it come from Olenna Tyrell was a total but not unwelcome surprise.
Tell Cersei. I wanted to know it was me. Number
8. Jon kills Dany.
When I was a girl, my brother told me it was made with 1,000 swords from Aegon's fallen enemies.
Daenerys' story arc began and ended tragically. Some fans felt that, despite all of the foreshadowing that supported Dany's Mad Queen story arc, this plot twist felt anticlimactic. However, no one can deny the shocking nature of the moment when Jon plunges his dagger into her heart. Following Tyrion's counsel, Jon ultimately realizes that Dany poses a threat, not only to him and his family, but also the entirety of Westeros, from the lordship to the common folk. In a moment as tragic as it was shocking, Jon finally puts an end to Dany's tyranny, once and for all.
You are my queen. Now and always.
Number 7. Sansa and Arya kill Littlefinger. For 7 seasons, Littlefinger was one of the smartest and most political characters on the show. His allegiances were cloudy, and he certainly wasn't above betraying Ned or killing Joffrey. But all of his scheming ended with 2 sisters in Winterfell, of all places. After Littlefinger attempts to plot Sansa against Arya, we believe that Arya will face some severe punishment.
Are you sure you want to do this?
However, they actually had a little scheme of their own, and Sansa surprisingly turns to Littlefinger to accuse him of murder and treason.
How do you answer these charges, Lord Baelish?
It's certainly gratifying, but what makes it even better is the image of the slimy Littlefinger crying and begging in front of the court. The Stark sisters finally avenged their father's death, and it was both immensely satisfying and completely unpredictable. Number 6. Oberyn's death. Everything was going to end so well. Oberyn would kill the Mountain and avenge his family, and Tyrion would be found innocent of Joffrey's death. Of course, Game of Thrones isn't about things ending well. Rather surprisingly, Oberyn actually beats the Mountain. But then he gets greedy. As Oberyn tries to uncover the truth about Elia's murder, the mountain trips him, gouges out his eyes, and crushes his head like a melon. And with that, Oberyn fails to avenge his family, and Tyrion is sentenced to death. It's a beautiful bit of storytelling, as it perfectly blends an unpredictable but understandable outcome, a shocking death, a major cliffhanger, and a massive shift in the story's direction.
You're hereby sentenced to death.
Number 5. Hold the door. No one really gave any thought as to why Hodor only said Hodor. We all thought it was just one of his character traits, but with this reveal, it was turned into one of the story's most beautiful and tragic moments. While Mira escapes the Three-Eyed Raven's cave with Bran, she orders Hodor to hold the door from the attacking Whites.
Hold the door!
Bran then unintentionally links the past and present and makes stable boy Willis suffer a seizure.
Hold the door!
As this is happening, he sees his own future and yells "hold the door" until the words slur together to become Hodor. Game of Thrones isn't always an emotional show, but we were crying buckets with this heartbreaking reveal.
Hodor! 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 Hodor!
Number 4. Jon Snow's assassination. This is yet another example of dire but realistic consequences surprisingly coming to fruition. We know Jon's motives are pure, but he still betrayed the Night's Watch by allowing the Free Folk to enter the Seven Kingdoms. To pay for his betrayal, the Night's Watch deem Jon a traitor and stab him to death while they chant for the Watch.
For the Watch.
It's a crushing moment and a brilliantly shocking twist, but it also comes from a place of understanding. We knew Jon had to suffer the consequences. We just didn't want to believe it.
For the Watch.
Jon's death was one of the show's most iconic scenes, and easily its biggest cliffhanger. Even the book readers didn't know the outcome of this one. Number 3. Jon Snow is Aegon Targaryen. R plus L equals J was one of the biggest and most popular fan theories surrounding A Song of Ice and Fire. Fans have been theorizing about this for decades, and wouldn't you know it, it's actually true. The truth is revealed in the season 6 finale when Bran sees Ned at the Tower of Joy. It's here that we learn Jon Snow was born to Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen, and that Ned raised him as his own bastard child.
Promise me, Ned.
Not only did this twist legitimize decades worth of fan theory, but it also completely upended the show and took it in an entirely new direction. Game of Thrones and its characters were never the same after Jon's true lineage was revealed.
I've never begged for anything. But I'm begging you. Don't do this. Please.
Number 2. Ned's execution. When it comes to Game of Thrones, few scenes are as important as Ned's execution. Even those who have never watched the show probably know about Ned's death. It's just ingrained in popular culture at this point. If Peter's betrayal taught us how to approach Game of Thrones, then Ned's execution legitimized its uncompromising nature.
Sir Ilyn, bring me his head.
We understand why Ned was ordered to die, yet we never believed that it would actually happen. Surely something or someone would intervene. But nope, Ned's head is lopped off and the show lost both its main protagonist and one of the few honorable men. With Ned's death, Game of Thrones declared itself an unbending tour de force that wasn't afraid to take major narrative risks. Number 1. The Red Wedding. Of course it's the Red Wedding. How could it not be the Red Wedding? The slaughter of the Starks is arguably the defining moment of the entire series, the scene that encapsulates everything good and daring about the story. It's a tragic but realistic culmination of various storylines. It eliminates a swath of beloved heroes in brutal fashion, it's traumatic as hell, and of course, it's completely and totally unexpected. In fact, it was so surprising that it spawned countless reaction videos, many of which went viral and were shown on national talk shows. Game of Thrones was never the same after the Red Wedding, both in terms of its story and popularity. Did you really think the Red Wedding would be anything except number one? What did you guys think of our list? What's your favorite Game of Thrones twist? Let us know in the comments below, and check out this cool video.